Adolf Hitler was not only a fanatical dictator but also known for planning massive construction projects. He dreamed of creating a 1,000-year Reich and wanted to build structures that were unparalleled in the world. In this video, we wanted to show you how incredible Hitler wanted Germany to look like. Among other things, you can expect a Führer place where a single office alone had more place and spaces than an entire multi-family house, greater buildings than those in ancient Rome, or an infrastructure project that wouldn't be possible even in 2024. We start our video with Hitler's most gigantic construction project. It's about the planned world capital Germania that Adolf Hitler wanted to build instead of Berlin. In fact, the dictator had the plan for Germany to one day rule the entire world, and for this he needed a capital that would form the center of the planned Greater Germanic World Reich. As early as his book Mein Kampf, Hitler described that he longed for ancient magnificent buildings like the Roman Colosseum or the Pantheon in Athens. With Germania, Hitler wanted to create a city that with its monumental buildings, gigantic squares, and magnificent streets would awe every visitor. Everything was not only supposed to be huge, but also made of the finest materials and feature a classic style reminiscent of ancient Rome. To implement these plans, Hitler commissioned architect Albert Speer, who had similar megalomaniac ideas. One of the most spectacular buildings Speer developed for Germania was so-called the Great Hall. This hall was to be the largest domed hall in the world, with a height of 290 meters and a diameter of 250 meters. By comparison, St. Peter Basilica in Rome has a height of 136 meters and a diameter of 42 meters. The Great Hall was supposed to hold up upon 180 people who would listen to Hitler's speeches or participate in mass events. Another impressive building planned for Germania was so-called Führerplatz. This place was to be Hitler's residence and workspace. In addition to these two buildings, there were many other plans for Germania, such as the Triumphal Arch, 12 times larger than the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, or gigantic train stations that would far surpass New York Grand Central Station. All these buildings were to be arranged along a wide street called the North-South axis, which was to run from the north to the south of Berlin. Hitler dreamed of driving along the street with the side completely lined up with people enthusiastic cheering for their Führer. To make room for all these buildings, a large part of old Berlin had to be demolished. Speer planned to destroy more than 50,000 apartments and relocate more than 100,000 people. Numerous historic buildings such as the Brandenburger Gate or the Reichstag building were also to be relocated or demolished. Construction work from Germany began in 1937 and continued until 1942. However, Hitler did not get very far with his plans, as resources and labor were needed for the war. But Hitler did not just want to change Berlin. There were also plans for other German cities such as Hamburg, Cologne, and Munich. In Munich, the dictator planned a new central station that would surpass all other train stations in the world. The ticket hall also was to be covered by a huge dome over 140 meters high and more than 250 meters wide. From Munich, these trains were to travel through the entire world over Afghanistan, India to China. Nuremberg also was not excluded from Hitler's construction visions. The dictator wanted to build a huge sports stadium in the city, which would accommodate 400,000 people, and the tiles where the visitors were to sit would be over 100 meters high. Hitler also planned that the Olympic Games would no longer be held worldwide every 4 years, but only in this stadium in Nuremberg under the new name Pan-Germanic Games. For the planned stadium, the dictator had countless forced laborers dig a huge pit of the foundation. Because the work was not continued, the pit eventually filled with water, and today's Nuremberg Silver Lakes was created. Now let's turn to Hitler's plans for Hamburg, and a vision for the city that sounds quite crazy. Indeed, according to Hitler, Hamburg was to become the New York of Europe. To this end, the dictator wanted to triple the size of the harbor and built a 750-meter long and 180-meter high suspension bridge over the Elbe River, creating a structure that would dwarf the Golden Gate Bridge.